Hello, and welcome to this edition of Roland Sports, where you meet the athletes. I'm Tyler Rowland, and with me today is somebody that we're very excited to have back for Ashland this year, Nate Freize, who missed last season with a foot injury. And Nate, it's good to see you back out there and playing again. First off, talk about your foot, how you're feeling now, and your road to recovery.
It's been a long road. It was tough at times, just trying to deal with, being at home and not being around the guys and not playing basketball a lot. But, I'm finally getting back in the swing of things. I'm getting back in shape. My foot still hurts really bad when I play a lot, but, it's normal stuff that's going to happen. I've got to deal with it. But, it's taught me a lot. It's taught me that, I can't take this game for granted and that I really need to just play as hard as I can and enjoy every moment while I'm here.
Mm-hmm. And what do you like now about being back on the court and having the opportunity to play again? You've come in and you played some good ball this summer.
A lot of these guys like Xander. We got newcomer Race. Guys I played with for years like Tucker and Asher. It's great to be back on the floor with them. I love those guys. They're like my brothers. And being on the court with them, it's special because I know that these guys are close to me, and playing with them is something that I'll never get to experience again.
Mm-hmm. And talk about the dynamic so far and what it's been like. There were 8 seniors last year, and I know now you're looking to fill in a lot of gaps, both from a perspective of talent and leadership. And talk about what that challenge has been like this summer.
It's been a lot different. Ever since I've been here, we've had guys like Colin Porter, Cole Villers. We had the 33-0 team with, Ethan Hudson, Justin Bradley. So I think, playing under those guys and seeing how they lead and how they are and how they play, I think it's really helped a lot of us develop. So, I think this season will be, a lot better than what people would imagine. I think, we got good leaders. Xander's great on the floor. He's a great leader. He's, always positive. Race is a really good point guard. He's very he takes everything, to heart, and he really, he'll play for you. He's a guy, I barely know him, but he'd stick up for me no matter what. And I think we just got that really tight bond that will keep this program where it's been these last 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to recovery from your foot injury, talk about that process with the rehabilitation and what you went through to get your foot to where it is right now.
Okay. A month prior to surgery, I was non-weight bearing, which means, I was on crutches. I wasn't walking. After surgery, I was also non-weight bearing for another 2 months. So, I didn't walk for almost 3 to 4 months, which is, a really hard thing to do considering, everything that you do, you've got to be up and walking, you got to be moving around. And it really kind of hit me to a point where I was like, I can't take this kind of stuff for granted. And then the rehabilitation process, it was a nerve-wracking thing. The first time I put my foot down to walk, I was nervous. I was scared. I was sweating, I was shaking, I was all over the place. But, I had great physical therapy down at Tri-State Rehab in Ironton. Dave Coburn's one of the best dudes I've ever worked with. He pushed me to my limit every single day. Mm-hmm. And, I hated him about every day because of all the crap he made me do. But, I'm thankful for people like that in my life that'll push me to be my best.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to your just the training and everything you've done, talk about at this point of the year, in the off season, what your goals are on a typical year, what you're looking to do over the course of the summer. And as somebody myself who just the past few years has gotten involved in basketball, I never knew it was this in depth over the summer.
We got a great strength coach. We got Jer Sasser, great guy. We got Coach Mace, who's always he's pushing us. He's making us do more than we'd like to, probably most of the time. But that kind of stuff in season is what makes champions. That's what makes you go that extra mile and play that last minute harder than the other team. And weight training for me has always been something that I've loved. I always love getting in the gym with the guys. And just that environment is always something that just, gets me like fired up and like, hey, let's go out and let's be the strongest team we can and let's be the most in shape team we can. And, let's run people out of the gym.
Mm-hmm. And one of the speaking of running people out of the gym, one of your stories that I think is so cool is, and I know you're right now just getting your feet back in shape, just where you've been running, but you lost a few years ago. You lost just, I'd say, 60 or quite a few pounds to get in shape for basketball, and of course you can see the difference it's made on your play. Talk about that and just what your inspiration behind it and how that's impacted you.
Yeah, well, like you said, it was about my 7th grade year. I was the heaviest I've ever been. I was probably like 5'10", 250, 260 pounds. I mean, I was a big boy. And then, between my 7th grade to my freshman year, I started putting in more work. I kind of stopped eating as much as I was. I was watching a little bit more about what I was eating. And then, I roll in here freshman year. I'm 6'2" and I'm about 190. And then, I started putting on muscle. I was probably in the best shape of my life before I got injured, and I was about 225. And I'm getting back down around there now. I mean, the weight loss, I'm back on that same struggle where, I've put on extra weight and I got to get it off. I got to get back in shape. So, it's something I've done before, which makes it easier, but it's still not a hard process or not an easy process to go through for somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's a great story. And let's talk about your hobbies some for the base to get to know you a little bit better. What are some of the things you like to do? I know you stay quite busy, but when you do get a spare moment, what are some things, maybe your hobbies that you have?
Well, I've always been a gamer. I mean, everybody, at my age plays games. We all do. But most of the time I'm so exhausted, I'll lay in bed, I'll watch Netflix, YouTube, stuff like that until, I fall asleep or whatever. I'm a pretty boring person when it comes to doing things outside of basketball just because we do so much. But yeah, I really gaming, maybe swimming. I mean, I got a pool in the back. But other than that, I'm not a huge hobbies guy. I'm a pretty boring person when it comes to being outside of basketball because it's about all I do.
Nice. And you mentioned gaming. What are your favorites?
Obviously, you got 2K. Everybody loves 2K. I'm a basketball player. I recently got into playing like PC games, so I'm playing on a computer now. A lot of games on there, super fun. All my close friends that I grew up with, they all play. So, it's just a fun way for me to connect with, my other friends that I don't get to see when I'm playing basketball.
Nice. And lastly, are there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Obviously, shout out to my parents. They really pushed me through the hard time I went through while, my foot was broken. My mom was always there. She was telling me, you're going to come back stronger than ever. You're going to be back stronger than ever. My dad's saying the same thing, and that is, even if I didn't act like, I enjoyed it when they told me because I was so upset about what was going on. I really appreciate it. Shout out to, my teammates, my coaches. They've all been super appreciative and really, pushed me through this time I've went through. And, they were always supportive of everything I've done. And, now I'm back. I'm stronger than I've ever been. And I'm ready to play this season. I'm excited.
Nice. We're excited to watch you, Nate, and be sure to stay tuned. Check My Town TV. You'll see some of the coverage of Ashland's games this summer. We thank you for tuning in today on Rollin' Sports, where you meet the athletes. We'll see you next time.